You are now listening to Talk is Cheap FM. Brought to you by Bet the Tuesday.
Talk is cheap, motherfucker. Yo, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? How you guys been? This is another episode of Talk is Cheap FM. I'm your boy, Big Baba Tuesday. That was a long pause, I know. But anyways, man, we starting the week out right. I have a new caller. I told her, like, I said, listen, have some new topics, or random topics. Don't tell me what they are. And we're just going to shoot the shit and we're just going to talk about it. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and everything. So give me one moment. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, that's good. That's nice to hear. You got good vibes and shit. So I'm thinking that we're going to have a good conversation. So here's the thing. I gave you a soft intro. So you can introduce yourself. You can use your real name, alias. You can tell people, anything. I wouldn't advise giving your social security number out. But you just say what you say. So here's the floor. It's your turn right now. So go for what you know.
All right, everybody. My name is Stephanie Leatherman. You can follow me on Facebook at Self-Made Business. I'm just a single mom, entrepreneur, doing my thing. That's pretty much it. I'm just here to talk to us and see what's going on.
And there you go. She's a single mother doing her thing. So anyways, okay, Stephanie, you used your real name and shit. That's very brave of you. That is very brave. Okay. So I basically told everybody that you're gonna just come up with some topics. So you already have some topics or whatnot, and I don't know what the topics are. So I'm gonna let you bring up a topic, and then we're gonna talk about it. So what are we going to be talking about first?
So let's talk about interracial relationships.
Okay, I know about that. I know about that shit. But I know about that. Okay, so interracial relationships. So tell me this: what aspect of interracial relationships do you want to talk about? Like, are you going to present me with a question or just? I mean,
so something I kind of want to address is this is 2018. Why are interracial relationships still a problem for some? And is it more of a problem for women than men or men than women? I'm noticing that, in 2018, I'm 33 years old, there's a lot of people, mainly women, who still have an issue with interracial relationships. So I'm just wondering, why? What is it?
Oh, okay. So this is what I think. Let's talk about the men first, because people think like I'm like chauvinistic and shit because I just say my views, and like I'm not here to disrespect women. I actually love and I cherish and I adore women. But I also know that you guys can fuck up a nigga's life in the instant. So, I treat chicks with, delicate gloves on, if you know what I mean. You gotta wear the glove. At least, hopefully, sometimes and shit, because you know how life is. Sometimes you're in the mood and you just slip it in, and one slips past the goalie, and you have a child. But anyways, listen, I feel that, and I hate to assume, but I feel that a majority. I'm gonna talk about black men. I feel like a majority of black men, they do not care if they see a black chick with a white or not, with a non-black man. We like a majority of us, we don't fucking care. You know what I mean? But there are like pro-blacks and everything like that pisses them off. You know what I mean? But my whole thing is like, if you are not having sex with that woman, if you're not going down on her, sucking on her titties or anything like that, then you shouldn't really, at the end of the day, care what she's going to do, because she's going to do what she's going to do anyways. We already saw what Eve did. She did what she was going to do anyways. Like women, at the beginning, Women at the beginning gonna do whatever they gonna do. You can't control that. That's a lifelong
Nope.
lesson.
So, I guess I see more of a conflict with women. You know, you're right. A lot of guys just really don't care. You know, they date whoever they want, no matter what color, what race they are. There are some men that, well, black men anyway, that do not want to see like an ex of theirs with a white guy or something like that. But that's far and few between. But a lot of it is from women, and I'm not sure why women are still hating on this. I mean, you know, we've been dealing with this for years now. A white woman is fine, a black woman is fine, an Asian, whatever. But I'm still trying to figure out, why are women so angry when, say, a brother's been with a white girl and they break up and he goes to a black chick, and the white girl gets mad. Or the black chick gets mad after they broke up and he went to a white girl, and then the black girl gets mad. Like, what's the problem? We all got the same breast, vagina, same in place. I mean, you know, we're just different pigments.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the issue is.
Well, I mean, you know, when you speak to like pro-black people, they're gonna, you know, they're going to, they're gonna have a problem with it. Which me on the outside looking in from their perspective, I can see. You know, because somebody like me, I might not agree with your views or whatnot, but if it's logical to a point and you have a reason, like a valid reason and everything like that, then yeah. But all in all, like, here's the thing.
It really just shouldn't be a problem.
I feel, and I said this on my Snap before, I feel like there's a lot of black females who secretly dig white dudes or secretly fuck white dudes but don't say nothing. I feel that way.
True.
I feel that way.
That's a true statement, and you feel that way because it's true.
Yeah, and I don't care.
It's kind of like there's a lot of white girls that have fantasies of always having their first black man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of white girls haven't slept with black dudes, but there's that fantasy of, I want my first black guy just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Well, black girls are the same. They never slept with a lot of white guys, so it's like, well, he looks all right. He looks doable. So let me try him.
Yeah, I mean,
But they ain't gonna say anything about it.
But I think that, okay, so here's the thing. Black dudes, we generally don't care because, I mean, there's more black dudes waking up and they're realizing that a lot of black females are causing extra headaches and extra heartaches and they don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? And they feel that they've been a good dude, but now labeled a simp or not a top prospect because they don't fit that that black dude narrative that's been pushed, you know, which most of it I feel comes from just natural instinct, you know. Like if a woman sees a dude that presents himself kind of like an alpha and he's bad and he's a bad boy and shit and reckless, like that's attractive to, like, women are attracted to that, right? But you have generally black, white, it don't matter what race you are, you have good dudes out there who are getting chosen in the later part of a woman's life after she's been ran through by the football team, you know? And a lot of dudes are waking up and they're just like, listen, especially in a time where everybody's popping that pussy for a real one. Listen, this is a golden age of getting your wee wet. That's what I say. This is golden age of getting your wee wet. If you want to go out there and do your thing, you're gonna do your thing. So I say that to say this: black dudes now are starting to have more options with females, and not just within their race, but outside of their race. Why? Because all the women now are liberated, and now it's almost going to get to the point where now more and more dudes are going to have options instead of opportunities, because that's two different things. Generally, dudes usually have opportunities and not options, because women, they've been getting dick thrown at them since they started developing breasts. So they get to pick and choose. Now dudes are going to get to pick and choose because women are out there in these streets. So you are naturally going to see more dudes fucking, more black dudes fucking different chicks from different races.
Well, I mean, you know, at this day and age, I don't see it a problem. You know, women are doing what they're doing, guys are doing what they're doing, and people just have their preferences. I think a lot of times the women that do get angry, they try and make it a race thing when really it's just a choice. This man chose this girl because he wanted to choose her. This woman chose this man because she wanted to choose him. It doesn't mean that, oh, you know, he doesn't like our race and that's why he doesn't date us. That it doesn't mean that.
You know what?
You know, 2018 is not about race anymore. It's just about choice. You know, she may be doing something that he likes and didn't get from any previous relationship or race, you know, but it has nothing to do with color. You know what I'm saying? It seems like anytime somebody gets angry, it ends up being about color or race, when really it's just, that's just what they want.
Yeah. Now you said a lot of compelling things that I want to talk about now. But first, I do think there might be a small, and there's always an exception to the rule, right? But I think there's people out there who only fuck with other races because it's one, that's the only thing they like. They don't want to fuck with they don't want to fuck with a black chick or anything. And then there might be some that's strictly just for fetishes, and they'll fuck with, you know, a chick outside of their race, and then eventually marry a black chick or whatnot, and vice versa, right? And also, you mentioned like people are getting mad over this stuff of interracial relationships, and now I sit back and I kind of see how everything's moving and grooving in today's society, and I feel, and we are living in a era where everybody is on medication, everybody's on pills, everybody's depressed and everything like that. And when you have a nationwide culture like that, you're going to have more and more people who are quote unquote ambulance chasers and who are going to be upset just to be upset. They're going to find something to be upset about. You know what I mean? So the easiest thing to be upset about is getting in other people's business and concerned about where he's putting his dick at and where she's popping that pussy at, you know? Don't get me wrong, if that is like your significant other and they're out there doing whatever they're doing, they should be faithful, then you should have a problem. But all in all, which is now a tricky situation when you think about it, the product of an interracial relationship is going to be somebody who is mixed. Now, in the black culture, somebody who's mixed, they just black because they got that drop of Negro blood in them, right? So now you're mad at somebody who chose to have a baby with somebody from an outside race, but in the black culture, you're going to accept that child as a black person, which they can't deny their other side, even though they're dark skinned and they got, you know, or they're, you know, light skinned or whatnot,
curly hair,
or whatever. They still can't deny their white, Asian, or other side. You know what I mean? So, are they really part of the black race, or are they part of their own races, which is a mixed race? You know, it's not really cut and dry. So at the end of the day, if black people are accepting mixed children as black people, they can't get mad at, well, they're getting mad anyways, but they shouldn't get mad at the cornerstone of that child being born.
Right.
You know.
And not only that, you know, if there's a biracial child and African Americans want that biracial child to embrace their heritage and know the black culture, then they need to embrace them knowing the other side of their culture. You know, black people are real big on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Black Panther and, you know, black this and black that, because there's been so many negative things thrown towards African Americans, they feel like all they have is their history to make them feel strong. But on the other side, you know, if that child is black and white or black and Mexican, let's say black and Mexican, well, Hispanics have a big family. They have big traditions, big history background. So that child also needs to know the other side of its world. So we can't just say, well, we want you to just have babies in your own race, so you know, we can just stick to our guns. Well, that's not how the world works. You know, the world is very colorful. So if you have a mixed child, you can't just say, well, I want that child to embrace its blackness because it's black. Well, no, the child is black and something else. So it needs to embrace all parts of the world, not just that one side.
That's true. And now that I kind of think about it, and I thought about this before, like whenever I'm with the homeboys and shit, especially back in the day, before social media, and let's say I'm talking to a chick or one of my friends is talking to a chick, like we always say, like like for instance, if I'm talking to my homeboy and he tells me like, yo, I'm dating this new chick and everything, blase, the first thing I'm going to say is like, what is she? And if she's black, he's going to say, yeah, she's black. But then if she's mixed, he's not going to say she's black. He's going to say she's mixed. You see what I'm saying? So there's that separation again, you know? So, and then now I'm thinking about like this. This is why I know shit is fucked up, and a lot of these females are just bitter. You know what I mean? They got ran through, and now they want, you know, the black man this, black man that, when they should have had the black man in the beginning, right?
Or they've had one bad experience, so they think, oh, well, I'm not going to date that race anymore. I'm going to go to somebody else because that race, all they do is what the last guy did to me, which is not the case.
Or they could just go straight female and be a lesbian, which, I mean, a lot of it seems like it's more accepted now in the black community, and also I feel like there's a lot more chicks out here who are now bisexual or lesbians. You know, so, and now that's a whole nother subject, but getting back on point, this is how I know shit is fucked up. Like Serena Williams and that chick who, what is it, Meghan Markle? I don't know her name, the Queen of England now or whatever. Like whenever whenever they had, you know, married a white dude and everything, black chicks, fucking standing ovation. Boom, boom, boom. You know, key, everybody's happy, right? But then when you have somebody like Childish Gambino or somebody else, Wesley Snipes or whoever, fucking date a white chick, everybody got a problem. You know what I mean? It's just like, listen, if you happy that a black chick is dating a white man or whatnot, or another man outside the race, you can't be mad for a black dude doing the same. You know what I mean?
You can't be mad. You can't be mad, but let me tell you why they are mad. A lot of black women are mad at these black men and their wives being of a different race, specifically white race, because they idolize them in the movies that they're in and the roles that they're playing, the strong black man. And then, you know, you have that love for that strong black man in you know, Tyler Perry movies or Oprah movies, and then when it comes to real life, you're like, what? His wife is a white chick? You know, and it takes time to process. That doesn't make it right, but that's why. It takes time to process, because in your culture, you've been watching these African American movies, you've been watching these strong black men, you know, develop careers for themselves. You look up to the Morris Chestnuts and the Taye Diggs and all of them. And then in real life, you see who they really are. So it's not that it makes them angry. For some black women that I know, it's kind of disappointing. They're not who you saw them as in those movies.
Well, here's the one thing that, see, women, you guys, a lot of you guys, I mean, sorry, I can't say that. A lot of you females, you fantasize a lot. You know, and it don't matter what race you are, but you guys fantasize a lot. You guys really get in depth with a lot of things, you know. And the fantasies are pushed heavily on the female gender because it sells, right? So they, like producers, movie directors, commercials, TV show producers, blase blase, they push to the female gender because they know that it's going to sell and females are going to buy into it, right? So yes, it's going to be really shocking because you're going to invest all of your emotions, because you guys are emotional creatures, onto this fantasy of the black man. And then when the lights turn on and shit, and you see this motherfucker with, a Asian chick or a white chick or whatnot, then you guys get mad, right? So I can see that. I can see that. And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But it can't be a coincidence that all of these black actors that you mentioned, I don't know if all of them date outside their race, but all these black actors that shock the black females, like, is it a coincidence that they're dating outside of the black race? I mean, is that saying a lot about the black women, or is that saying a lot about themselves? You know what I mean? Because,
well, me speaking from experience is because my whole family is mixed. There's black and white all throughout my family. And I think that it's kind of a disappointment, but at the same time, I don't know how to put it. It's kind of like you're a strong, that whole strong black woman thing. You're a strong black woman and you want a strong black man. Black people have been put down for so long. You kind of want your race to stick together without seeming racist at the end, which is really what it comes off as, because you don't want that girl to date a white guy or that girl to date that guy to date a white woman. So it's kind of hard to place, to kind of put it out there, because there's so many different things. It goes back to history. It goes back to black women being abused by white slave men. There's so many different sides as to why black women get angry. I want to say the black women now in 2018, I think they just get jealous because they don't have anything else to do, pretty much.
I mean, I agree with that. Like, just the imagery and just knowing the history and everything that, like, black people went through, I could see why, there's a lot of black people who want black people to stick together. However, whenever I examine, like, the white community or the Asian community, or let's just do white or Asian, like, the men in that community are very respected. They're very respected. However, in the black community, I feel that men and boys are not respected, even within the black community, and we can look at black men getting pushed out of being fathers because the government stepped in and it was up to the women to choose between, the government check and having all these fucking kids, or keeping that black man in the house, right? So, and when you plant those seeds, them seeds is gonna grow. Now we got all these goddamn trees everywhere that ain't doing nothing, and it's not helping anything out. You see what I'm saying? So,
and I've noticed kind of in comparison to, like, a black woman gets angry because, her ex, a black man, is now dating a white woman. Well, a black man may not get angry because she's dating a white guy. But if they have a child together and that white guy is helping raise that black man's son, then you got a problem. And it's kind of like, well, so the black woman can't get mad because you're dating a white girl, but if I date a white man and he's in the household with my child and your child, it's an issue.
Are you talking about like when you say like their child, like the black man is mad at them having a mixed child, and the black man feels like that could have been him taking the white man's place?
No, like the African American woman and the African American man were once a couple and had a child.
Yeah.
Broke up, divorced, or whatever. The black woman goes and finds a white man, and he's now in the household helping raise that black man's child.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this.
The black man has a problem with that.
Well, I'm going to tell you. Wait.
If it were flipped, you know, would it be okay for the black woman to have a problem with the white woman raising her child?
Here's the thing, and this happens in the animal kingdom and everything. As a man, and being a man and being a male is two different things, right? But I'm speaking for like the man's perspective, not the male's perspective, but a man. So if you are a man and you are about family, even though you and your woman broke up and everything, you don't want no motherfucker around your child. It don't fucking matter if it's another black man. It don't matter if it's an Asian man. It don't matter if it's another chick. Because listen, kids are getting taken advantage of. Kids are fucking dying because of the wrong choices their parents made. So, as a man, it don't matter if it's a white man. It don't matter if it's a black man. You don't want nobody around your goddamn child. You just don't, because you don't know what these motherfuckers is capable of doing. And chicks out here getting fucking, they get digged down a couple of times. You know what? I stumbled upon this story. I think it happened in New York. A mother had 2 infants, right? And she had a boyfriend, right? And the boyfriend wasn't like the father of the children. So they fucking she ended up taking the kids to bed. And the mother and this dude ended up like drinking and smoking weed, and he fucking beat her guts in, right? So she's knocked out, passed out. He fucking gets up and he kills one of the kids by choking him, and I think the other one's in critical condition. Like women, I feel that they get digmatized and they don't make rash decisions, and they don't fucking care about the environment of their children. And yes, there are women, the women that fucking take care of business. I'm not talking about you, so don't get pissed off. I'm talking about these chicks who probably shouldn't have any children and shouldn't be reproducing and should be probably on some kind of medication because there's something off, right? So I'm talking about them. So you have females out there who are putting their, and that, you know what, and that's that, and this is the sad part. Women, this is why men get mad, because women can use a system against a man and still have that, and the man can have evidence and say like, listen, my child is in a bad environment, but just because she's a woman and just because there's no equality, because if there was equality all around and women started getting treated like men, when the fucking court system will fucking start ruling towards some of these men to get fucking custody of their children. But since that's not the case, and that's not what the equality that's being pushed out right now, you have these children who are in bad environments because of their mother wants to be fucking vindictive or petty, putting their child in harm. Children are getting fucking molested and getting killed inside the home because they have all different kinds of dudes running in and out of the house. And that's the bottom line. And that's why men, not males, but that's why men get mad when other people are around their children and they don't know who that motherfucker is. There should be, this is what I'm saying. And brothers, I hope you out here listening, and brothers of all race, creed, and cultures and everything, right? Even your lesbians too. Listen, there should be a vetting system that your baby mama or your baby daddy should have in order to have somebody else around your child when that relationship, that individual relationship gets to a certain point. You know what I mean? So let's say me and you had a child, right? And we broke up, but of course I'm in the child's life and you're in the child's life. You meet somebody new. we should already, even if we are fucking mad at each other and everything, we should, the child comes first. So we should,
Right.
and I'm not trying to be in your business, you're not trying to be in my business, but if we're going to have somebody around our business, then you should tell me, like, listen, I met this person, whoop-de-whoop,
Right.
and then we will take it from there. You know what I mean? And
Right.
there it is, you know, because at the end of the day, it's the product that we need to protect. And
Well, I also truly believe in this. This is just my own opinion, but if let's say we had a child and we split up and I decided that I wanted to go date somebody and I started dating that person, I honestly believe that new partner, new relationship shouldn't even be around my child or our child unless we are talking about marriage or we're going to get married. I mean, there's no point in introducing your child to every single person.
oh yeah,
Because
true.
you just can't bring kids around everybody. If this person is not someone serious that knows that you are a mother and your children comes first, and you're a father and your children comes first, if they can't accept that, then you need to nip that in the bud right when you start. They shouldn't even meet your child unless they have met the other parent, and the other parent is comfortable with that because that is their child. Other than that, I don't believe in even introducing your child to your mate unless there is something serious happening and they're willing to accept you and your child.
That's true. That's true. And
At all.
yeah,
I don't think they should see them at all.
that's how I feel. That's how I feel. So, wow, yeah. So we talked about the I guess the black man perspective. Well, I think we talked about the black female perspective too.
Yeah,
Was there
yeah.
any? I think I've said everything I wanted to say about interracial relationships. Really, we kind of covered a lot. Was there any other? I guess any other thing that you wanted to address about
Well, I just want-
interrelation?
I think everybody should understand that, there's this big cloud out there that says that the black woman is angry all the time. And that is just not true. The black woman is not angry all the time. And when a black woman is angry, she's mainly hurt. It's not that she just, feels like she just wants to be angry and throw a fit and get all loud and indignant. If there is any person on the planet that is disrespected more than anybody else, it's the black woman. It really is. Because the black woman is supposed to hold up the black man. She gave birth to the black man. He's running off doing, whatever craziness he's doing. Then the black woman is not supposed to get all angry because the man is messing around with a different race. Oh, she's just bitter and upset. The black woman is always supposed to stay home and raise the kids without being on some kind of assistance. Oh, she's late. She don't want to work. There's a lot to handle and there's a lot to take as a black woman. And the black woman is the most disrespected person on the planet. So I want people to understand, when you see a black woman and she's angry or she's upset,
Stay away
there's
from
a lot
it.
of reasons for that.
When you see a black woman and she's upset, just don't fucking bother her. Mind your goddamn business and keep it pushing, because you don't want to fucking get killed
Right.
over some bullshit. I feel that the most, well, okay, as far as being disrespected in the black community, I feel like the black man is more disrespected than the black woman. I think women in general get away, of course, with a whole lot of stuff, and to be honest with you, I feel that there's no hard accountability for females in general, because if you kind of even look at it, just even like a microcosm of what I'm talking about, if you have a male teacher molesting students, that motherfucker's gonna get hung, shot, dragged, torn up, and everything, right? But if you have a
Right.
female teacher molesting children, she gonna get a slap on the wrist, shit, she might get her goddamn Instagram followers up and shit, and it's all said and done. So I think
be more promoting than demoting.
Yeah, I think that black men, especially black boys, are the most disrespected people in the black community. That's how I feel. Because especially black boys, man, I mean, like, they don't have most of them that are in the inner cities and in the ghettos and everything. They don't have an upbringing with a positive male role model, one. So they're not learning how to handle themselves in the real world situation. They're not thinking about the future. They're not just being taught the shit that, you know, people who had, you know, a father or a male positive role model, they're not being taught that stuff, you know? And since they are being raised by single mothers, they are picking up on how females get away with a whole lot of shit, right? But that shit is not going to fly for especially boys who grow up to be men, if they're fortunate enough to survive that long, right? So just how I said, like, a slap on the wrist if a teacher does something. So you can have a black woman act out, the cops come, nobody gets arrested, where the chick should have got arrested and everything's all good, right? So, or she gets pulled over or whatnot. She's just throwing a fit at the store or whatnot. I don't know the goddamn situation, but kids pick up on that, right? So now you're a grown-ass kid, you're a grown-ass man, and you're trying to go through life learning the shit that you learned from a female, consciously or subconsciously, and motherfuckers ain't got time for that. You a man, you're going to be treated differently, and the next thing you know, you either dead or in jail, or you learned a valuable lesson, you know? So I think...
Yeah, and I think people put a little bit too much emphasis on you're a man. You know, you got to be a man, and when you're a black man, it's even worse. You know, just because you're a man and you're strong and you've got muscles and you're considered the head of the household doesn't mean you don't have feelings. Doesn't mean you're not in fear. It doesn't mean you need help understanding. You know, the whole "you're a man" thing, just that whole quote, "you're a man." People put too much into that. Well, and you know, I think it would be easier, especially for black women, if the kids had father figures to kind of help them with that, to help them understand that yes, you are a man. You know, this is what you are supposed to do as a man. But also give them the other side as you don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to be in control all the time. It's okay to be upset or cry. You know, your friends, you know, hitting you or saying you're weak or something like that because you're upset does not mean that you're not a man. And I feel that from a lot of my male friends. They've been told that since they're a man, you know, they need to shut up and take it. Or, you know, they need to grow some balls or something like that. You know, you're a man, but you're also human. You know, you're giving emotions, not as many as women, but you're giving emotions. You're giving a heart that can break, that can hurt. You know, so I think people put too much on this whole "you're a man" thing, thinking that you're a man, you're not supposed to feel anything. And it's even worse for the black community because there aren't too many role models in the black community. So when there is a black man taking care of his kids and taking care of his family, it's a lot of pressure because he's supposed to be a man. You know, he's supposed to stand up and take it.
Well,
so it's a lot of pressure.
You know what? I agree with you a lot. I think I had like a podcast. I think it was called like Vulnerable Masculinity or whatnot, and it was just basically kind of putting the topic of the narrative of like being a man and showing emotions and shit, you know. But it was more of like being in a relationship with a woman, right? And not just generally, you know, being that quote unquote man and just not showing any emotions, because I feel that 9 times out of 10, like, men don't know, especially when they don't have like a somebody to teach them how to, especially, man, if you have a man teaching you, like, listen, you got to be strong, you got to do this shit too, but you got to also learn how to control your emotions. It's okay to get upset and everything like that, but at the same time, as this is how I feel, as a man, of course you're going to go through different emotions and everything, but you cannot handle that like how a female is going to. Like, you can't, like, there's going to be a time and place where you're going to go back and forth with your woman or with a chick that you're seeing, right? Because it's going to be in the heat of the moment. But you can't let that, your emotions, really have you always doing that. You know, there's a time, like, you should know how to handle it and just stop arguing and, you know, proceed with your life. You know, I feel that a lot of dudes get in trouble because they bottle a lot of different emotions in, and then one thing leads to another. They finally get pissed off and have enough of it and end up doing some shit that they're gonna regret, right? So, yes, as a man, you are gonna go with a lot of emotions. You are gonna have a lot of different emotions, but you're gonna have to handle it differently. You can't handle your emotions like how women handle their emotions. Right? Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of women out there who are fucking, they have that mentality of almost, you know, handling stuff like dudes and everything. So kudos to them. But at the same time, yeah, I also feel like also you do need to be strong. You do need to be the head of the household and everything like that. But in a society where, and we might could talk about this in a different podcast, but in a society where competition between genders are pushed and not complementing each gender is pushed, is gonna build up a friction within the household, right? So, for instance, like if we were together and we were competing against each other, who made the most money and everything, and I'm not being a man and I'm just being like a dude, I might get insecure and everything like that. But even if, here's the thing, money in a relationship equals power. So I feel that there are some relationships out there where the woman makes more than the man, but the man still handles the relationship like a man. You know, he still makes the final shots, final call on things and everything like that, and he makes the executive decision. Not saying that he always makes a decision, but whenever it comes down, he makes the executive decision. And the woman, even though she makes more money than the man, she still has that compassion and still has that support and doesn't belittle. You know, I think the biggest problem, and damn, I feel like this is going to be another, fuck it, we're going to roll with it. I feel like another problem in the society is that when women make more money than men, which I'm all about women in the workforce. You know, if you're going to be out there doing it, then you could do it or whatnot. You know, I'm not going to take nothing away from anybody. But once a woman starts making more money or more educated than a man, she's going to start looking at that man as not an equal and start belittling that man. And she's going to start looking at somebody who is has more resources than her current compadre, if you know what I mean. You know, so
that's some women, not all. And usually the women that are well off and are looking for, you know, women come out and they say, well, I need him to be equal to me, or, you know, make as much money as I do. You know, I don't want anybody, I don't want to lower my standards, is what they say. But a lot of women that are like that are the women that are lonely and depressed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No man wants to come into a relationship already knowing that not only do you make more money than him, you probably wear more expensive clothes than him. So he's probably not even going to approach you because he's going to see you as materialistic just by looking at you. And you kind of looking at him like, oh, he's not my standard. He's not even going to approach you. So you're going to be lonely and miserable because you're coming off as some materialistic rich lady who just wants somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to know when to turn that on and when to turn it off. And at the end of the day, you may be making a lot of money today, but you could lose all your money tomorrow.
That's true. You can lose your looks too.
Your husband could end up being someone that doesn't have a lot of money, only makes maybe $11 to $12 an hour, but treats you the best out of all the relationships you've had. So you can't judge a book by its cover, and you can't go and say, well, I make $65 or $75 or $100,000 a year. I need him to make what I make. Well, what if he did make what you make and y'all got married? What if he's an asshole and he makes good money?
Yeah.
What if he belittles you but he makes good money?
And that, like,
I don't about the money.
And I tell, like, this is my whole thing. Like, because I've read articles about this shit where a man is making like $100K, the woman is making $100K, they're both working, she ends up having a child, she decides not to work anymore, so now he's trying to figure out how he's going to live that $200K lifestyle only on $100K because she decides not to work anymore, and then he's miserable, blase. So that's another aspect that you're going to get into. Don't get me wrong, money and resources is very important in a relationship, but it's all about the character of the person. Right. So if that person is all about, that's all they're all about, and that's all they get married for, even though marriage is a business, but if you look at marriage as a business, both parties are going to have to pull 50%, or depending on the agreement, they're going to have to pull their part of that business, right? So right. It's just a dangerous thing, man. Marriage, anyways, like, fellas, I don't even promote marriage. I think it's a slippery slope and it's stupid, and I don't understand it. I don't even understand why people still get married, but you do what you do. If you find somebody that you love or whatnot, I can't even say love without my voice stuttering. If you find somebody you love, if you get married, you get married, but don't invite me because I'm not going. You just need to know. You just need to know what you're getting into. I would probably think of it like, and I don't know what people. I'm probably never going to get married because to me it's just too much stress. But you have to know what you're getting into. So when you find somebody and you decide that you think you're in love and you really want to marry this person, you have to ask yourself, is that person your best friend? Is that person you don't mind giving your last for? If y'all were stranded somewhere and didn't have any money, no food, no nothing, could you take care of one another without biting each other's head off? Like, could you love that person if they were rich when you met them and then broke and after you got married? There's a lot of sacrifices, and if you can't put yourself aside to take care of another person, then you're not ready to get married. Yeah. That's true. The only female I feel that I'm going to take seriously is a female that I went through something like traumatic with. Like, we were both held hostage and we both fought our way out to survive. That's a chick that I would be like, man, I think I can trust her a little bit. But just any chick that, like, I'm meeting off the streets and everything, I don't care if you meet all the qualities that I want in a woman, I'm probably not going to trust you, and just for
let me ask you.
Yeah.
Would you trust the woman that you had your first child with? Your firstborn?
Oh, yeah. I'm not, like, there's a reason why I don't have a child right now. And don't get me wrong, like, I've had plenty of opportunities to have children, but I decided to pull out, right? So it's all about me. Like, that kind of shows what type of person I am as far as my decision making on who I want the mother of my child, right? Because, like, if I had a child with a chick that was a whore in college, like, no telling what kind of shit my child, especially if I have a girl, no no telling what like my little offspring is gonna be going through and see in life and all that shit. You know what I mean? So I don't just go around just just because a chick looks good or whatnot. I'm just gonna have like a child with her. No, I gotta check the pedigree. I gotta see who you are. That's why I'm going the route of finding like a surrogate mother, because there's a vetting system. People are involved. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be spending my own money. I'm gonna get my own child, and it says a lot for a dude who wants to be a single parent and who would go and spend his money to find the right person to have the child with, because a woman can have a child with any scallywag and get assistant help from the government and all is good. But a dude, they don't have that decision. So me deciding to do that, if I am that if I am that serious about having a child, then I'm willing to spend upwards to $100K just to have my child. That says a lot.
Not deal with the whole rest of the situation.
Yeah, because I would rather spend money up front. It's almost like going into the phone store, and you can either put your phone on like that payment plan where you pay extra a month, you know what I mean, until you pay it off, or you just pay it up front. So yeah, I'm gonna spend $1,500 for a goddamn iPhone instead of spending, at the end of the day, more than that monthly, for my phone. Because a lot of females, not every, but there's a lot of females out there who uses their child like a multi-level marketing company, and they're just getting residual money off that dude just because they have a child. You know what I mean? I don't want to play them games. I already got tricked into listening to Society and getting student loans and shit. So after getting hit over the head with that, and me still paying for that bullshit, I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna get married, and I'm not gonna have no child just because society tells me to. I'm not gonna dig myself in a deeper hole right now. Fuck that.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think marriage is a bad thing. I mean, I know a lot of people that have been married for years on years on years. I think that marriage can be a beautiful thing. I just think in this day and age, marriage is not something you probably want to jump into.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now, a lot of people are super selfish. Social media is tearing marriages apart. Like, if I were to ever get married, my social media would be gone, because it's no one else's business what goes on in your household. And that's a lot of reasons why these marriages are failing. The girl gets mad at the man, or the man gets mad at the girl. Where does she go? To her friends or to social media?
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of marriages aren't lasting. If you have a child, you can't be going to Facebook talking about he did blah, blah, blah. You can't do that kind of stuff.
And if I had if I had a child, I don't want my child all over social media. I'm weird like that. Like, I don't want people to have access to my inner workings in my relationship. Like, I'm not going to be, I might, of course, like, if my baby is born and everything and all that, I'm holding my baby, pictures like that, like sentimental stuff that I can post, on social media. If I decide to do that, I would do that. But not every fucking post of my child. Like, listen, I don't want my child to be, I don't want you to fucking watch my child grow up and like I am, like I'm watching my child grow up like every day. No, that's fucking weird.
Everything needs to be done in moderation and to some extent. If you want to put your child on social media on your page, like a picture or something, okay, that's fine. But one thing that irritates me is I see a lot of these parents taking pictures of their kids at the beginning of school and at the end of school, and you're right in front of the school they go to. That's like handing your kid over to a pedophile. You basically just told them your kid is in
Oh,
second and
yeah.
third grade,
Yeah.
and they go to this.
True. That's how I think of things. Oh, that's fucking true, because there's a lot of fucking sickos. There's a lot of fucking sickos out there. Like,
So taking a picture of your kid and their first day of school at whatever elementary. Well, you just told them your kids it's their first day of school, which means they're probably in kindergarten or pre-K. This is their teacher, and that's the school they go to. You just handed your kid off to whatever pedophiles online.
and I'm gonna do one better, and I'm gonna like whatever school my child is probably gonna go to, like a Montessori or whatever, because like I want my child to have the best education as possible, and also I'm gonna be teaching my child at home as well. You know what I mean, about real world shit. You know what I mean? Because I don't want my child to fall in of just being, you know, a quote unquote like a plantation slave for the United States. I want my child to fucking have a well-rounded point of view on things before she, you know, graduates from 5th grade. You know, or he or she,
Right.
you know. But what the fuck was I gonna say? Damn it! I was gonna say something profound, but I fucking forgot it. God damn it. Yeah. Also, whatever school my child goes to, like I don't want the teacher of my child posting up any videos on Snapchat, because there's some teachers that I follow on Instagram, and I'm just like, yo, why in the fuck are you, like, is that even illegal? Are you, what are you doing?
And, you know, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that situation. With my son's school, when you take him to school and you sign him in for classes, and you know they pick a teacher or whatnot, they hand you papers that basically say, do you want your child to use electronic devices at school? Yes or no. Do you want them to use a laptop and a tablet for schoolwork? Yes or no. You have that choice. But they don't give you papers saying, are you okay with the teachers developing a secret group or a closed group of the classroom and the pictures they take at the zoo or in the class, or, you know, whatever activities they have at school. They don't give you those papers. I had to go to my son's school and say, hey, I understand you're his teacher. I understand you guys have a closed group for parents or whatever to come and look in this group, but my son better not be in that group. I don't want my child on the internet unless I put him there.
Exactly. I have to
no, because they don't send that stuff out.
Yeah, and I'm even okay for like class pictures and everything. Okay, that's cool, you know. But other than that, I don't want to fucking like have my the picture of, you know, my son or daughter like floating around on the internet, a picture that I didn't take or somebody in my family didn't take. You know, that's just fucking weird to me. That's fucking weird, yo.
Yeah. And I mean, the amount of parents that take pictures with, you know, their child's teacher and principal, and to me it's just like, you know, how much more information of your life do you need to put on the internet? I mean, the world's bad enough. All these school shootings, kids being raped. I mean, I literally do not watch the news anymore.
Oh, I stopped watching. I stopped watching.
Shootings and murders. It's just a bunch of bad stuff.
Yeah. The only news that I watch are news clips I see on social media that catches my eye, or I get the news from YouTube, from specific people who are not, you know, programmed. Yeah, who say the real shit. You know what I mean? So that's how I.
But local news, no.
Yeah,
I mean, you turn your news on, there's either a child rape, somebody stabbed, another school shooting. I mean, it's nothing but negativity. And it almost makes you, if you don't have children, it almost makes you not want to have children, because you don't want your child to go through what's going on in the world right now.
That's probably the realest shit that I've heard all fucking day. That is true. That crossed my mind.
But why would I want my child to live in this world? Like, do I really want kids? And especially for the African American community.
Yeah.
All these black guys are being shot, all these black boys are being shot. Do you want to have that talk with your son? Like, do you really want kids right now?
Yeah, and just sexual predator, just all kinds of shit, man.
All kinds of stuff going on.
And then you're taking the gamble of, is your kid gonna be a fuck up? Like, you could do everything in the goddamn world to put your child on the right path, and he can still show his ass off and be an ass. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's a gamble.
Like the guys, the boys that have done majority of the school shootings. Like, what about their parents? I'm sure their parents did not raise their children to go shoot up a bunch of other kids in school. They're probably like, I raised my kid to be a normal boy, and he's killing second and third graders.
Well,
shotgun.
I think I need to look more into it, but I was talking to a friend and he said that like a high percentage of school shooters, or maybe even all of them, I don't know, they didn't have like a father figure or a positive father figure in their life, which says a lot. I got to see if that's true or whatnot, but if that is the case, we need to look into more of having that family structure, because I don't see in social media, and we got to wrap this shit up, but I don't see in today's society the push of the two-parent home, the male, like a man and woman. I don't see that being pushed. And I get it. Like, people are going to be liberal. People are going to fuck, you know, the same sex or do whatever the fuck they're going to do. I don't care. I don't care about that. But
Right.
why isn't a positive relationship, especially for black people, like I can't even think of the last movie I saw where it had a positive black guy and a positive black woman in the movie, in a relationship, and from the beginning to the end, it was even though there was like ups and downs, it finished off on the same note. You know what I mean? That's not being pushed.
Yeah.
I can't think of the last movie. Can you think of the last movie where it, especially at the end, like a black man and a black woman are happy together? I can't think.
No, I can't.
I don't think there is a movie out there.
Uh-uh.
I don't think there is a movie out there.
I would have to think real deep about that.
And that's a goddamn shame.
This Christmas is a good one, but I think the wife dies. But I mean, at the beginning they were a happy family, and then she dies, but at the end they're still a happy family. But I mean, other than that, I would have to think about that.
Yeah, that's something to say. Who in the black community? See, the black people, we need a goddamn marketing team. We need to squash all this shit that's happening. We need to take care of our communities, but we need our own goddamn marketing team. We need a strategist. We need a goddamn. We need a goddamn director of goddamn photography. We need all this shit to fucking put this positive shit out here that black men and black women can fucking work together and do shit together. You know what I mean? If that's a narrative, if we want to change that, you know, and we still have the option to go out there and fuck with whoever else we want to fuck with from different races or whatnot, but we need more positivity pushed, because there's nothing but negative shit, especially for men. And it's small stuff. I see this shit in commercials. I see this shit everywhere. Black men and black boys are secretly under attack. You know, and I think men and boys in general are under attack as well. But it's going to hurt the black man first, because black people in general are the canary in the coal mine, right? So we're going to die first. Do you know that phrase, canary in the coal mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to, that's some old school shit, you see. My pawpaw told me that shit a long time ago. I love you, pawpaw. I love you, pawpaw. Yeah. But anyways, so it's gonna affect black boys and black men first, and then the white men are gonna get it. But once it starts hitting the white men, I'm telling you one thing about like white men, they will fucking try to dead that shit, you know, before that shit hits the fan. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to fucking get behind and stop this Me Too stuff. Man, we're gonna see how that shit goes. But like once white men had it,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But anyways, I'm blabbering on. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about interrelational relationships. We talked about women making more money. Then we talked about kids in school. I think this was a good, nice, fun podcast. It was nice. Let's see. Yeah, it was a whole overall nice conversation. So, with that said, do you have any last words before we end this?
I think everybody should love themselves, believe in themselves, and put as much hard work out there as they can for themselves, because at the end of the day, no one's going to love you or take care of you like you will. God
damn, you kind of sound like my grandma and my mama. Damn, that's what's up. Okay.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
So
they think that somebody's going to be there for you, but at the end of the day, it's all about you.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off of that, listen, everybody out there who's doing their own thing and people don't agree with it and everything, and if you're not fucking hurting people or taking advantage of people, this applies to you. Listen, you got to think about it like this, especially if you're getting bullied online or whatnot. You got to think about it like this. Like, if the people that are pissing you off, if they're not going to be at your funeral crying because you're dead, and even if they are going to be at your funeral crying because you're dead and all that shit, like, it doesn't matter. You got to do what you got to do, especially if they don't fucking know you and everything like that, and they're just trying to bully you online or in real life or whatnot. If they're not going to be crying over you, their fucking opinions and everything don't matter, right? And then also, what I always like to say is, listen, man, you got to teach people how to treat you, and you got to reteach people how to treat you. And just like how my grandma tells me every day, I still talk to her. Grandma, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you tomorrow. I love you, Grandma. I know you out there. I love you. But anyways,
I love you, Grandma.
she always tells me this. Listen, love everybody,
right,
but trust nobody.
Exactly.
I'm your host.
And demand respect from everybody.
Yeah. So love everybody, trust no one. I'm your host, Baba Tuesday. This was Stephanie. She had so many good things to say, and this was probably one of my podcasts where I didn't cuss and I wasn't talking vulgar and everything like that, because we were actually talking about some shit, you know, and everything like that. Maybe the next podcast I will start talking crazy or whatnot. Who knows? But anyways, thank you for listening. Okay. Next time we're gonna be crazy. We're gonna talk about titties and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? That's what you wanted. You wanted that side of me, but I got layers, baby. I was being nice today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be crazy. You know? So, anyways, we are out. Thank you for listening. Peace.
Peace.